It's the freaky ma.
Anita Sigler.
Lacey, nice to meet you.
I feel like if they had the tech we had, they would have been cheating too. They had like little only.
Oh yeah, definitely.
You're a black
They
man.
could have DM people.
Okay, no, I
Y'all
like
could have go on Instagram and DM and say, "Yo, what you doing right now?"
You guys had phones in the wall and were communicating through telephone cups.
I talked to my husband in person.
Okay.
You talk to them on the thing. You're having with virtual reality.
No,
what? AI. 80% of your generation
you can't make it till you try.
What's the problem with that?
You want to have with AI?
Yeah.
As opposed to a real person.
Why
That's
not both?
sad to you?
Did you see the new Gras?
That's going to stop population growth. This is the least amount of
So
people
we're
having
back.
children right
you're
now.
an AI hater.
No. I just like having conversations in person. I get to see what you're about. I get to feel your energy. I get to see what you are about as a person. I don't need to go and
That's what FaceTime's for.
But FaceTime is not in person. Can I touch you on FaceTime?
Why can't I just send you a snap until you pull up? So I can
Yeah,
kill?
like what?
Like I'm trying to kill.
I can touch you here. I can have a conversation with you. What
Yes,
am I going to do?
but how can we? But back then, in a day, you could. Who knows?
I'm living here today with you in this
But what I'm
world that we
saying
live in.
is, back in your day, we never would have met because how would we have connected? Now,
Because you're in person where I am. You're at Venice Beach.
But
You're
why
at
would
the
you
movie
limit
store.
yourself to the only people in person?
All you guys know is swipe right, swipe left. That's all you guys
And that will never change a thing.
Exactly.
You guys don't know how to flirt. You guys don't know how to
Who don't know how to read?
Have you seen this man on Discord?
Come on, bro. I DM my girlfriend on Valorant.
Where's the women here? Where's the women representation in this equation here of all your Instagram and all your swipe right?
Man,
Loki has boobs.
we are all feminists.
Facts.
Yeah, okay.
We are.
Yeah.
We are.
Okay. And what does that mean to you?
To
Can you
me,
define
that
to
means
me?
I stand for women's rights and I hate period cramps.
And that's so ignorant
I
and
hate
so
period
typical
cramps.
male. That's so male.
You know what? You're right. I hate women. Is that better?
I didn't say that you hated women.
But I'm saying, he just said he loves women and he
now
stands
I'm in the
for women.
wrong.
But I don't know that he said that he loved women. Did he say that?
Yeah, you said for women's rights.
But what rights are women having, right? I don't see any women here being represented. So how is that?
Women have the same rights as men.
Do they?
Yes.
You've never been a woman, so how do you know that?
Because I just know the
Okay,
way
what
the
if he
world
wants to be
works.
someone?
You don't know the way the world works. How old are you? How can you know what the world is like? You don't know what it's like to be a woman.
Ma'am,
She's getting triggered.
No, because you're ignorant. You're ignorant, and I don't want you to. You're just ignorant. Have you
Name
ever
calling.
worked for less than what you are working for, doing the same exact
that doesn't
freaking
matter.
thing? It sure
Because
does.
here's
How does it
what's
not matter?
not gonna
I'm
lie.
a single woman because you get a tap out on your children.
Malcolm Ray definitely got more money than me. I'm gonna lie.
So there's not single fathers in the world where the woman walks away.
Count them. Count them for me.
I don't know this.
That's a gaslight technique.
Look on there and tell me what the facts are.
The
because that's
same
what you
way
do.
that men walk out on women, women walk out on men.
Facts.
You're not. What
That's
are
a
you
fact.
How many
There's
single
single
fathers do
You're
you
manipulated
see?
by the
There's a
government.
lot of single fathers. There's a lot of single
I call
fathers.
bull.
And guess what? No, I got this. And you want to know why there's less single? You want to know why there's less single? Because women can cheat sneakier. That's why.
All women do is cheat.
You got cheaters.
That's so
Shame
much
on
bullshit.
you.
Because we're smarter than you would be my answer.
She admitted
Not
it.
smarter. I had a
Yeah.
2.1.
Smarter.
I had a 2.1 GPA.
Your generation is lazy. Y'all don't want to work these days. Look at me. I worked 850 hours this week. I ain't spent no time with my family. My back is falling apart. I can't afford health insurance, and I'm barely making ends meet.
Bro, what
So
the
what's y'all excuse? What the fuck you mean, what's my excuse? I don't need an excuse. Bitch, I don't want to live like that. Yeah, because y'all lazy. No, bitch, because it's fucking stupid. What, that ain't no damn gotcha. What the hell? I don't want to. Why would I do that stupid ass shit? Because that's how things work. Things barely worked like that when you was a damn kid. So I know they ain't fucking working like that now. Yeah, y'all all fucked up. Y'all just want to sell candles and be tuber yous and screamers and shit. Because that's the type of fucking shit that they gotta do. Because that's the only thing gonna help. Bitch, we cannot work at Home Depot, Walgreens, Target, Best Buy, and none of these regular fucking jobs and survive. Everybody gotta be aiming for the goddamn top or you're fucked. Yeah, even after you climb to the top of a shit mountain, it's still gonna smell like shit. Well, yeah, you know what? Smelling the shit from the top sound like it's a whole hell of a lot fucking better than standing on the ground, still smelling the shit, pretending like you at the fucking top.
And there's that change
That's
for
a
you.
bar.
Keep the change. Oh, thank you so much. All right, there's that change for you. Oh, you're welcome. Can I get for you?
Can I have an ice cream and macchiato, please?
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Of course. What can I get for you?
I need a black coffee.
Okay, any cream in that?
No, I said black. I want it as dark as it gets, black. Hey, so this actually isn't my coffee.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You know what though? I can take it. You know, it's really fine. Like,
Are you sure?
Yeah, I got it.
Okay,
Thanks.
perfect.
Thank you. This is what I ordered.
Oh, I'm sorry. Do you want me to remake it for you?
No, I actually need a refund, and I'm taking this as well. So,
Oh.
yeah, actually, no, I don't want it.
Oh, okay. Great. Thank you.
You been here for?
Since 6.
Oh my goodness, that is so early. What time did you have to get up?
About 5. 5:30.
Oh, I could not be me. You've been here for
I said 6.
I begin up at 4 o'clock in the morning. Your generation is so soft.
Okay.
I've been tending the farm since I was 5 years old. Waking
Right.
up at 3 o'clock in the morning, you can't even wake up at 6 without crying.
Right. Okay. All right. Have a good day.
Let's check my boomer clock. Oh, hello. I'm so glad you could make it on time.
You're welcome.
So tell me why you want this job.
I don't. And in fact, I wanted to discuss your starting salary.
Is it not acceptable to you?
Honestly, no. Rent nowadays is at least $1,500 for a studio. I need to make 3 times that amount to qualify, so your starting salary should reflect that. For what you're offering, I'm happy to work part-time and remotely from home.
I'm sorry, this isn't a negotiation.
Oh, excuse me. I didn't see the line outside for this position. So tell me why I should accept this job.
You know what? I'm sick of this shit. We got several Gen Z employees here, and you are all the same. You arrive late,
Mamie Street Park.
reject assignments,
Why wouldn't I want to work on something I'm passionate about?
avoid picking up phone calls.
It's not office hours.
Your generation
Facts.
is lazy, entitled, hooked on the instant gratification of technology, and live way beyond your means.
Excuse me? Our eyes are wide open to the bleak financial landscape that the older generations refuse to acknowledge.
These are facts.
Kidding me?
Here's some facts.
Mhm.
Rising cost of living, stagnant wages, housing affordability crisis.
Well,
Snap, crackle, pop, bitch. And that's how a doomer schools a boomer. Follow me.
God, your generation just does not want to work.
The average person spends 1/3 of their life. That's 90,000 hours working. Why would I want that? Why do you want that? Gross.
You can't even use a fax machine.
I don't even know what that is. You just stated yourself.
Not all of you guys can be influencers and content creators, okay? Not everybody in this world can be an artist. There is a practicality you have to face.
Why not? With the advent of robots and automated work, shouldn't we allow for more people to creatively express themselves for their livelihood instead of doing manual, repetitive labor?
Got a
Why
point.
are we giving AI the art?
You're a baby.
You're old.
Fragile snowflake.
Capitalist shell.
Growing up on the internet has led to the advanced polarization of ideology, forcing you to live in an echo chamber of performative social activism, cancel culture, and a lack of being able to build a community or understand the nuance of social interactions. You expect people to be perfect because their growth and humanity has been imprinted forever on the internet, but you lack the life experience to see that it's a singular moment in time and not representative of the complexity of a human's totality.
No. We just hold the previous generations responsible for the state of the world we're inheriting and being blamed for. Mr. Boomer, based on the gray in your hair, the bags under your eyes, and the fat in your belly, you have children. So pray tell, why do you want us children to tolerate the same bullshit that you had to? Don't you, as a parent, want to create a better future for us? Wasn't that, like, the whole point?
Oh my God. You're right. I did. I've been unfairly judging your generation against what it was like for my childhood, even though I have some very valid criticisms.
OMG, not poggers.
I should want to create a better future for your generation and beyond.
Thank you. And I guess, like, I should try to remember that you're a product of your olden time. You're from, like, what, the Paleolithic era? You didn't have Instagram therapy.
I didn't.
Let's get a selfie.
Let's.
Say boomer. You didn't say boomer.
When I was your age, I had my own house at 23.
Cool story. How much was rent?
Like $300 a month.
Sir, my grocery bill is more than that.
Facts.
Y'all just don't know how to save money.
Step 1. Be born in 1965. Step 2. Buy a house for the price of a sandwich.
We worked hard. No handouts.
Yeah. Tell me more about those cheap college fees while I go sell a kidney to afford mine.
You know what? I'm too old for this. I need a nap.
Ideally, by the age of 30, you should have at least $100,000 in the bank.
I
think it would be nice to have
Not
maybe
happening.
like $5,000 saved.
Definitely $100 grand.
Probably like 60,000 to like 250,000. It's really not a fair question because where do you live?
By age 30, you're halfway towards retirement. You've got to have a nice nest egg at that point.
I always heard growing up that it should be about like 20% of a payment for a house.
That feels responsible. It feels 30. It feels 30.
Hey, thank you for staying for the duration of the video. Excuse the volume spikes. Let's get into it. I'm trying to find a decent level. I'm learning on the fly with this shit, man. You know, I'm trying to find a decent level with the volume. Anyway, Gen Z versus boomers, right? We had the one girl at the end. She was a millennial, but she was like on the younger end of millennials or whatever. But the reason I thought this video was important was to show the contrast between Gen Z and baby boomers when it comes to shit. I would honestly say just awareness in general. And for the most part to me, right? For the most part to me, I feel like Gen Z edged this whole conversation, because even when, like right now, when they're talking to this lady right here, all she's doing is regurgitating shit that we've all heard. Now, hold on. Yeah, and she just said, you know, there's a least amount right now of people having children. People cannot really afford to have kids right now. That's why people aren't having kids. I know a few friends of mine right now that are not having kids because they can't afford to have kids. It's already expensive enough. Now, somebody like me, I had kids before it got this bad. It's terrible now. I wouldn't blame anybody for not wanting to have kids. But the whole thing with that too is, why is that an obsession for older people? Like, you know, you hear it a lot with this, and you know, with this political climate, we need to have more kids. Let's have more kids, more kids. Why does it matter? Like, if people just can't afford to have kids or can have them later in life, then people should be allowed to do that. But the problem is, right, is the boomer generation is too busy trying to compare themselves, when honestly, when you look at the numbers and the facts based off of history, they grew up in the best time it was to grow up, as far as the economic boom, cheap education, cheap groceries, cheap gas. I don't understand how that's having it harder. And like the woman said in this video here, and I respect that from Gen Z. What I don't like from the boomers is they perceive anything that they don't understand or disagree with as disrespect. Now, her whole whole persona while doing this, yes, it was a little out there, it's exaggerated. You know, I don't really think nobody's in an interview being, you know, behaving that way. But the talking points that she was saying from a Gen Z perspective was spot on. Hold on. I mean, but and that's what I'm saying. That's how you're supposed to be in the interview, though. You're not there to just accept what they give you. You know what I mean? It's literally a negotiation. It's not, please hire me, I need this. I don't blame the younger generation for not wanting to sign up for this shit. I don't blame y'all for not wanting to sign up for this shit. I'm not condoning being lazy, right? But I don't blame them for not wanting to sign up for some bullshit. This is some bullshit. Flat out. There's, like I said, there are no pensions like that. And the biggest thing is too, is none of these jobs that people are saying Gen Z, millennials, and people need to get, none of these jobs are offering a livable wage. That is the biggest problem with this whole thing. How can you have someone faithfully and consistent with a job? Like, you know, that's why people have to change jobs so much, because nowadays you have to have 2 or 3 jobs, right? But how can people live comfortably somewhat when they're always working, when they're always trying to survive? You know, things are supposed to get better for each generation. At least that's what we believe. With technology advancements and everything, things are supposed to get better each generation. Saying we're not working hard, well, what wasn't the whole design for us not to work harder? That was the whole point, right? If you guys have worked so hard to get us here, right? Why do we have to work harder if that's the case? Right? The infrastructure is built. You need to maintain it. You know, learn, you know, trades and stuff like that. Right? Why? I'm not expecting the kids behind us to work harder. And that's cap too. I don't know. Someone has to show me an example of working hard. If you're, honestly, in my opinion, if you're not working on an oil rig, you're not a farmer, you're not, you know, from what I can tell, I honestly don't see pro athleticism. If you're getting paid as a pro athlete, well, I don't really see that as hard work, honestly. I think that's actually, in my honest opinion, I think that's a blessing. That's just me though, because I've always been an athlete at heart. So I don't see that as hard work. But construction, you know, hard labor jobs. If your ass sat at your desk for 30 years, if you respectfully there's some teachers that have some very hard positions. I'm not saying that. Don't take this out of context. But what I'm saying is, how was the work that y'all supposedly did harder than the work that we're doing now? That's what I want to know. How is it harder? What made it harder? Because normally when people say harder, it's either mentally intense or physically intense or both, or even emotionally. How did y'all work harder? Right? And if y'all worked that hard and y'all did good at it, why do the younger generation have to work just as hard? It's just bullshit. All it is a talking point. It's the only thing they default to, because the honest truth is most baby boomers don't know what they're talking about. That's the honest truth. They regurgitate propaganda, newspaper news, BS. It pounds it because they watch it. Remember, television is for programming. TV is for programming. I can almost guarantee all of those boomers, right, that were on this panel have cable television. And I can almost guarantee most, if not all of these Gen Zs only have internet and Wi-Fi. That should tell you right there, right? I don't blame the younger generation for seeing the light. They see the shit that us millennials are in. They like, yo, hell no, like this is bull. What? Why would they subscribe to something that they see as some BS? I commend them for that. Now, do I think they're a little mouthy? Depends, you know, but I just don't understand how, you know, if boomers are the standard and you guys did everything right, why is everything so messed up? If that's the standard, it's all I'm saying. If this is the standard, right? Why is everything messed up? Why are all these jobs hiring, but nobody can't get a job at the same time? The wealth gap is so big. Hey, I think, you know, for the most part, you know, when it comes to, you know, this video, for context, that especially her, you know, she instead of her actually speaking with knowledge, she tried to speak off of just what her experience was, but then she started getting disrespectful. She started name calling. Hold on. Hold on.
I can have a conversation with you. What am I going to do?
But how can we? But back then in the day, you could. Who knows?
I'm living here today with you in this
But
world that we live in.
We back in your day, we never would have met, because how would we have?
But she tried to say that like it was a gotcha moment, like that she's still not hearing what he's saying. The benefit of technology today is we can do what y'all used to do, plus reach other people and opportunities because of technology now. You couldn't do, well, I had to meet my husband in person. Okay, well, the benefit of having the internet is, yes, you can meet people online, but eventually you have to meet those people in person. So hold on.
would you limit yourself to the only people in person?
Facts. See? And look. He said it with so much conviction. They really deep down feel this way.
Where's the women here? Where's the women representation in this equation here of all your Instagram and all your swipe right?
Man, we are all feminists.
Yeah, okay.
We are.
Yeah.
We are.
Okay. And what does that mean to you?
To me,
Define
that
to
means
me.
I stand for women's rights and I hate period.
That was a little smart mouthy though.
That's so male.
You know what? You're right. I hate women. Is that better?
I didn't say that you hated women.
But I'm saying, he just said he loves women and he
now I'm in the wrong.
But I don't know that he said that he loved women.
Watch how she twisted. Hold on.
But what rights are women having, right? I don't see any women here being represented. So how is that?
Women have the same rights.
They didn't pick the panel.
Do they? Yes. You've never been a woman, so how do you know that?
Because I just know the
what if he wants to be
Hold on. You see her? Hand slapping on the desk. Right? Just watch. Cursing. Name calling. Ignorant. You see that? That's what they resort to. Because they can't handle talking to a Gen Zer. They don't know how to. For the most part, I can say when it comes to this controversy that the Gen Zers are right. we millennials feel the same way. We're just a little more passive about it. Well, not me, but
You're just ignorant. Have you ever worked for less than what you are working for, doing the same exact freaking thing? It sure does. How does that matter?
people are working less now, though. That's what I'm. Hold on.
Malcolm Ray definitely got more money than me. I ain't gonna lie.
So there's not single fathers in the world where the women walks away.
Count them. Count them for me.
Count. How is he? The baby boomers see everyone else as softer generation. The Gen Zers are knowledgeable. A lot of them are not humble though, right? And it could come off a little, testy. The boomers see themselves as the standard for the best generation, which we see is not true when it comes to the landscape and how America is designed and sitting right now. It's not. We have a lot to blame them for, honestly, and this is to the people I get in the comments that say, well, it's not the boom. It's not just the boomers, it's politicians and it's da-da-da-da. All of these people I'm referring to are boomers. It doesn't matter if you want to say, well, it's politics. Well, it's such and such. They're still boomers. Boomers voted us into these positions. That's how we got here. So for the people that keep saying, well, it wasn't the boomers, I got to blame politicians and elected officials. Yeah, you have to vote for them. These people that have been in these positions for 40 plus years have been voted in time and time and time and time again. They are boomers. That's the point. You don't have a gotcha moment because you're trying to say, well, it's the Democrats. It's all they asses. All of them. Every single one of them. That's all I'm trying to say, bro. You cannot be that dismissive because you have a political side. On this channel, I'm going to tell you right now, I don't care about either one. Especially the right. I got so much vitriol toward that. I'm telling you right now. But I don't care about either. I don't care about either. We got in this position from boomers, Gen Xers, some millennials, right? Voting the same way over and over. Being misinformed. Voting against your interests. That's how we got here. That's why the economy is what it is. That's why our gas prices are going up. Even though he said they're supposed to be going down. Our groceries are going up. Interest rates went down a little bit. Gonna shoot right back up. I think it's needed. I think Gen Z is giving us a good balance of looking in the mirror. Honestly, they are the first generation to honestly hold a mirror up at boomers, to make them really look at themselves. Now, me, like I said, my grandmother wasn't a boomer. She was silent generation. So my grandmother always had a respect for my elders, even if I disagree with them, right? Which can be bad to a default. It can be bad to a default because a lot of them play into that, right? Even though they can be wrong, they'll play into that to try to make themselves right. Gaslighting, if you want to call it that. But the boomers, I can honestly say, I'm not trying to take away that their hard work. Now, what I know from my grandmother is my grandmother picked cotton with her hands in the sun, in the Alabama heat, Dothan, Alabama. That's hard work. Going through hard times is not necessarily hard work. Some people like me, I've been going through, if that's the case, I've been going through the struggle since as long as I can remember. That's hard work. I don't blame the younger generation from having this position. Actually, I commend them for actually speaking up and holding a mirror to America to say, yo, this some bullshit. We ain't signing up for this. Y'all ain't, hold on. So you get to work 30, 40 years at Kodak and you get a pension and a nice retirement check and everything, but Kodak don't exist no more. I'm supposed to work for McDonald's for 10 years, make a quarter over minimum wage and survive in this terrible market when my rent is probably $1,700. My phone bill is over $150, give or take, right? If you on lines, I have to pay for Wi-Fi. That's mandatory. I need transportation. My groceries are astronomical. For one person, it averages, I think a month is like $450, $500 on the cheap end for groceries. On the cheap end. If you're eating very, very modestly. Nah. I commend Gen Z for how they handling this, but also too, y'all can't sit on your ass too long and think, oh, we should just not subscribe to it or whatever. That ain't gonna work out too long, we just gotta, we gotta get these boomers out the way. That's just, at the end of the day, and I'll debate it with any boomer. We got to get them up out the way. They are what's holding this country back right now. For real. And it's not all boomers. Don't take it personal because I ain't talking about all boomers. I'm specifically talking about the people, again, that's going to keep voting and putting the generations behind us in the same position. And it's not just baby boomers. It's also Gen Xers as well. It's a lot of Gen Xers that act like boomers and have benefited like boomers as well. But I'm going to save that video for another day. Ayo Bassel TV, like, comment, share, hit the hype button. See you on the next one. Peace.